Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and really dig into the most important bits of AI news. Today, we're looking at some key stuff that surfaced around July 29th, 2025. Our mission, like always, is to get you up to speed fast. Frontier models, new ways to optimize them, those agentic systems we keep hearing about, where AI plans and executes tasks. Yeah, a bit of future gazing too.
It's definitely moving fast. It feels like every week there's something major. So yeah, let's try and make sense of not just what's new, but why it actually matters, for the field and maybe for you listening.
Okay, let's dive in some pretty significant model releases to unpack first, starting with a big one out of China. Zippu AI, they're considered one of the AI tigers, right? They've dropped these GLM 4.5 models.
That's right, the GLM 4.5 355B and a smaller one, the Air 106B.
And the claim is, well, it's pretty bold. They're saying these aren't just the best open weights models out there, supposedly better than Kini K2, but also right up there with, or even beating, the big closed models, like Claude 4 Opus, Grok 4, OpenAI's O3. This is quite something.
Yeah, it is a huge claim. And you always have to take vendor benchmarks with a grain of salt, right? But it definitely gets your attention.
Yeah, exactly. They're also highlighting token efficiency, which, as we know, is super tricky, especially for those agentic tasks.
Uh-huh. That's often the bottleneck.
And interestingly, this is the second big model this month, apparently using the Muon optimizer at scale. Seems like that's gaining traction as a training method.
Yeah, points towards maybe some underlying shifts in how these massive models are being built efficiently.
Plus, they went with an MIT license, really open. And they released the evil trajectories, like the full logs for 52 tasks.
That is good. Transparency is key. It lets the community actually dig in and verify or at least understand the results.
Tech-wise, they mentioned distinct thinking and non-thinking modes. Sounds like flexibility for different tasks, coding, agent stuff, and this native multi-token prediction layer, MTP, supposed to help inference speed, even on mixed hardware like CPU plus GPU.
Okay, so potentially faster responses.
Community seems to think the coding performance is generally strong, maybe a bit lower on math and science compared to, say, Qwen 3, based on early tests.
It's fascinating, the strategy here. Open sourcing powerful models with MIT. It's aggressive. It forces you to ask, is this purely about sharing, or is it a play to build a massive ecosystem around their tech? Maybe gather feedback and usage data that closed models just can't get at the same scale. It really stirs the pot on that whole open versus closed debate.
Good point. That competitive landscape is shifting so fast.
And one quick technical clarification, you mentioned efficiency, but it's worth noting GLM 4.5 uses BF16 precision natively, which actually means it needs more RAM than some models it's compared against, like DeepSeek R1, even if other aspects are efficient. That matters for anyone trying to actually run these things.
Oh, okay. Good context. Practical deployment hurdles. All right, let's shift from text to moving pictures. Video generation. Alibaba's WAN 2.2.
Oh yeah, the open source MoE video model, that caught my eye too.
Being called the world's first open source MoE-Architecture video generation model. Quite a title. The architecture is mixture of experts, right? Two big 14 billion parameter experts, but only one is active at a time to keep things manageable.
Exactly. Plus a smaller 5 billion parameter dense model that's always working. It's a hybrid approach, basically, trying to balance quality and efficiency.
And the performance. They're claiming the main 14B version, T2V A14B, beats commercial big names. Kelling 2.0, Sora, C-Dance, especially on dynamic motion and getting text right in the video.
High bar, video is tough. Motion, coherence, prompt following.
What's really interesting is the accessibility, that smaller 5B model. They say it can run on an 8GB VRAM card, like an RTX 3090.
Wow, okay, that's consumer-grade hardware.
Yeah, generating 720p video in maybe 4 or 5 minutes for 30 steps.
So maybe your old gaming PC isn't totally useless for AI yet.
Maybe not. That lowers the barrier to entry significantly for creators.
Though other tests show the bigger 14B model can run on a 16GB card, but push-in settings can apparently send VRAM usage way up, like 50, even 70 gigs. Right, so there's still a big gap between the accessible version and the absolute top-tier quality one that needs serious hardware.
Still, big improvements over WAN 2.1 apparently. Better complex human motion, footwork, following prompts better, and bonus points for being mostly backwards compatible with WAN 2.1 LoRAs. Those custom tweaks people have already made.
That's smart, respecting the existing ecosystem. But yeah, the open sourcing itself is the main story here, I think. It runs counter to the trend of keeping the best video models closed off and hitting that consumer hardware target, even with the smaller model. That's how you get widespread adoption and, unexpected innovation.
True. But like you said, there's that quality trade-off. The 14B is apparently A plus quality, the 5B. Maybe not quite there, but usable.
It's always a trade-off, isn't it? Performance versus accessibility.
Okay, let's get into the engine room. Optimization algorithms. Stuff that makes AI smarter, more efficient under the hood. First, group sequence policy optimization. GSPO. This is from Alibaba Qwen.
Right, a new reinforcement learning technique.
They're billing it as a breakthrough for scaling large models. The key seems to be sequence-level optimization and better stability for those complex mixture of experts models. Apparently, gets rid of the need for hacks like routing replay, old workarounds.
Making MoE training less of a black art, perhaps. More stable, more predictable.
And the proof. It's actually powering the latest Qwen 3 models. Instruct, Coder, Thinking. So it's not just theoretical.
Which does make you wonder, doesn't it? When we see a new model like Qwen 3 seem smarter, how much is just more data and compute, and how much is down to fundamental algorithmic improvements like GSPO? It's often these less flashy, under-the-hood changes that enable the next big leap in capability. Harder to see, but critical.
Yeah, good point. Okay, next up, this is pretty fascinating. Reflective Prompt Evolution, GEPA.
Ah, yes, the self-improving prompts idea.
Exactly. GPA treats prompts not as fixed instructions, but as like documents that can evolve and get better on their own. And the performance numbers are kind of wild. They claim prompt optimization with GPA beats traditional RL methods like GRPO by 10%, but using 35 times fewer rollouts.
35 times fewer. That's a massive efficiency gain, if true.
Right. And it apparently beats another method, MIP or a V2, by over 10% too.
So how does it work, this reflection?
Well, the paper says GPA looks at the AI's response, figures out why it failed linguistically, and then generates specific improvements to the prompt in natural language.
Okay, so it's not just tweaking parameters, it's reasoning about the language itself.
Yeah, and the researchers suggest this whole learning via natural language reflection could become like a central way future AI systems are built. They're even planning to integrate it into DSPy, so a model like GPT-4o could explain why the prompt changes worked, moving away from just black box optimization.
That is really interesting. It's like we're moving from just using prompts to having the AI itself become a prompt engineer, constantly refining its own instructions based on performance. It feels like a step towards more autonomous systems that can genuinely self-improve their understanding and execution based on linguistic feedback. Changes the whole dynamic of prompt engineering, doesn't it? It makes it fluid.
Totally. Less static instruction, more ongoing dialogue
Yeah.
with itself. All right, now let's talk about AI teamwork. Claude Custom Sub-Agents.
Ah, using Claude Code to orchestrate other agents.
Yeah, the idea is chaining together specialized sub-agents to tackle complex tasks, like building a deep research system where different agents handle different parts. More reliable, maybe. There's this open source project, Awesome Claude Agents, with like 26 specialized agents. Each mimics a software dev role, back-end, front-end, API design.
Simulating a whole team.
Exactly. And it tries to solve Claude's current lack of built-in cross-agent coordination by adding a tech lead agent. This tech lead breaks down the main task and manages the other sub-agents, like a project manager in an agile team.
Interesting approach to coordination.
And there are other community tools popping up too, like CC plugins. These use simple slash commands in the chat to get Claude to do specific tasks. Things like code cleanup, managing the chat session, even fixing simple bugs across different files without needing special setup, making it more versatile on the fly.
Look, these multi-agent systems are incredibly powerful in theory. You can imagine tackling really complex problems by breaking them down. But, and this is a big but, they also introduce a ton of complexity. Managing interactions, debugging when things go wrong between agents, it can be a nightmare.
Yeah, I can see that. More moving parts.
And critically, running multiple agents, especially in parallel or sequence, can chew through tokens like crazy, which means higher costs. So for you listening, it really raises the question, how do you balance this potential power boost with the very real challenges of complexity, potential for errors, and frankly, the expense? It's a major trade-off.
Yeah, definitely something to weigh up for practical use.
Okay.
Finally, let's get into the hype zone. The buzz around GPT-5.
Ah, the eternal mystery.
We had those mystery models pop up on the LM Arena Summit and Zenith, right? Fueling all sorts of speculation they might be early GPT-5 versions.
The chatter was pretty intense for a bit there.
A report suggested they were really good at complex stuff, like generating P5.js code, creative writing. Seemed to be based on a GPT 4.1 series, knowledge cutoff maybe June 2024.
So recent knowledge, very capable, but still maybe an iteration on 4, not a completely new architecture yet. Hard to say from the outside.
True. But the claims around GPT-5's coding potential are getting pretty dramatic. Some are saying it's like a level 3 to 4 jump over previous generations. Able to handle complex coding tasks in one shot that used to need tons of back and forth prompting.
If that's true, it's huge because better coding AI doesn't just write apps. It helps build, test, and improve the next generation of AI models. It's a feedback loop.
Exactly. That's why the coding leap is seen as so critical. Then you have OpenAI execs reportedly telling investors they think they can get to GPT-8 with current architectures.
Ambitious timeline, or maybe confidence in the current scaling paradigm.
And Sam Altman's comments
Yeah.
comparing testing GPT-5 to the Manhattan Project emotionally, saying there are no adults in the room.
Yeah, those comments definitely raised eyebrows. Very dramatic framing. Hints at capabilities that are maybe powerful, maybe concerning, maybe just new.
It certainly fuels the speculation fire.
Look, it's clear there's rapid progress happening, that's undeniable, but there's also a massive amount of hype, and I think the community, rightly, often meets these kinds of dramatic pronouncements, especially the Altman ones, with skepticism. People want to see the proof. Show us the benchmarks, show us the specific capabilities. Don't just give us vague, potentially alarming comparisons. So for you listening, the challenge is always, how do you sift through this? How do you separate genuine breakthroughs from incremental gains wrapped in marketing? It requires a critical eye, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Keep that critical thinking cap on. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. Zippu's GLM 4.5 making waves, Alibaba's WAN 2.2 opening up video, those clever algorithms like GSPO and GPA pushing efficiency and self-improvement, the whole Claude sub-agent ecosystem growing. And yeah, the never-ending story of GPT-5 speculation.
Each piece adds to the puzzle, right? A new model here, a smarter training technique there, new ways to combine AI components. It all pushes towards AI tackling more complex stuff.
It really does.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to chew on. As these AI capabilities keep accelerating, especially in coding, reasoning, agentic behavior, what kind of new collaborations between humans and AI do you see becoming not just possible, but like essential in your work, your creativity, your daily life?
That's a big question. What becomes necessary, not just novel? Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll be back soon with another stack of sources to explore.